On this episode of Cronkite Sports on Fox Sports Arizona, golf balls go green. Phoenix proves its worth as a sports mecca. Pro Bowl, Tiger, and Super Bowl, oh my. Heartbreak and inspiration from a high school basketball player. And ASU raises the curtain on a new baseball era with a nod to the past. Hello and welcome to this edition of Cronkite Sports on Fox Sports Arizona. I'm Jared Cooper. Teeing off the show, the Waste Management Phoenix Open took place a few weeks ago. Everybody knows that this tournament is a big supporter of sustainability, and one Arizona company also promotes a greener game. Reporter Kari Osep has the story.
Arizona's biggest event is the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and to have that event be a zero waste event that shows off the power of sustainability is something that we're very proud to be associated with. So not only do we have over 500,000 people come out here, but we're able to do it without any waste, and that's directly attributed to Waste Management.
We've made it the greenest show on grass, so you've got a zero waste event. Everywhere you look, it's a reminder about sustainability and how you can do it with really the world's largest attended golf tournament. We use the Waste Management Phoenix Open really as a case study for sustainability. If you can do zero waste here, what can you do at home? Can you recycle or do compost in your backyard or use less water? There's many ways you can be sustainable in your everyday life.
Ever since Waste Management took over as title sponsor for the Phoenix Open in 2010, it has proved how sports can be a platform to help make things greener. And one company in Tempe is following their lead.
Dixon Golf is the world's first high-performance, eco-friendly golf ball company. So we were looking in the industry just to kind of see where a niche would be and where a need would be. And we recognized early on that there's about 2 billion golf balls made a year. They were just being thrown away or they were getting lost. If you line up 2 billion golf balls, that wraps around the world twice. And so that's a yearly loss of golf balls. And we thought, you know what, there's something that can be done that's better.
What William Kari thought was better was creating a product that was not only good for the player, but for the green below it.
We looked and said, well, what's the real problem out there? Inside the golf ball, inside the core, there is no regulation. So you can essentially put anything inside a golf ball. And there's just been all sorts of weird things put in golf balls, from tungsten to lead, mercury. And we said, you know what, let's do two things. First of all, let's make a golf ball that can be totally recycled and create a recycling program around it. And in case the golf ball gets lost in the environment, let's put products in there that don't hurt the environment if it just erodes. We took out any of the heavy metals or things like that and put in some heavy earth salts. We're one of the first on the equipment side, and to let people know that, hey, even your equipment can be more eco-friendly.
How eco-friendly is it? Well, I decided to take it to the lab to find out. Tiem Miao Lai, who specializes in material sciences and engineering at ASU, cut open a Dixon golf ball to compare its core to average models.
It's the softest one among the three, and this one is the hardest one. It took me a long time to cut it open.
After being examined under an energy dispersive X-ray and electron microscope, results show that Dixon Golf has far less harmful metallic elements than compared with average brands, where aluminum and traces of titanium and zinc were found.
If there are heavy metals, definitely it's gonna do huge harm to the water environment.
The Dixon golf ball checks out in the lab, but does it check out on the course? And who better to see how this greener ball compares than former pro golfer and current TPC instructor Rob Rochelle.
All right, here we go. Oh, it's got a chance.
For a former pro and Titleist lover, Rob believes Dixon makes the cut.
Felt pretty good with most of the clubs in the bag, and it performed pretty well around the greens and with the driver. I think that it's not too dissimilar. I'd probably have to do a little more research before I would actually play with it in a tournament, but I think it's a good golf ball.
When you think of an eco-friendly golf ball, you automatically think, oh, it's probably not as good. We determined early on that it needed to perform as well or better than the other products on the market. Otherwise, it would be categorized as a gimmick.
Somebody making the effort to build something that's playable and kind of friendly to the environment, I don't think that's a bad thing. So I commend the guys for giving it a shot.
While Dixon Golf and the Waste Management Phoenix Open help keep the sport of golf green, they also want the lessons to go beyond the course.
We grow up as kids loving sports. There's something in our heart that just loves it. And so sports has a way that we follow it. If the sports industry sets the lead and sets the example, then obviously the majority of the people that are interested in that will follow. And there's a lot of people interested in sports. And the bottom line for us is we're dealing with golfers. And what we want to do is we want to bring up something that says, hey, you can actually do something better for the environment. It's not going to hurt your game, and actually it will help your game. If you can do that with your golf ball, you can probably do that with other aspects of your life. And I hope that other people can see us and they can see, hey, maybe in my industry I can make a difference.
Thanks for the story, Kari. So are these balls biodegradable?
Actually, Jared, the golf ball is not biodegradable. What's being put inside, that's eco-friendly, and how it's being produced is eco-friendly, but players are not going to have to worry about the quality and performance of this golf ball just because it's greener. So that's kind of a cool thing, and that's maybe something the sports world can kind of look at in creating sustainable equipment over time.
What an interesting concept. Coming up on Cronkite Sports on Fox Sports Arizona, the Super Bowl hysteria just left town, but it was the tip of the iceberg for the championships in Phoenix. Plus, Arizona recently went through two of the craziest weeks in sports history. Relive the action right here after the break. Welcome back to Cronkite Sports on Fox Sports Arizona. A few weeks ago, the Patriots defeated the Seahawks in one of the most exciting Super Bowls in recent memory. Super Bowl 49 was just the first of a few championships coming to the Valley of the Sun. Reporter Arianna Grainey shows us why the NCAA and the NFL have brought Phoenix to the top of the podium.
Is there a better place for football or basketball during the cold winter months around the rest of the country than the warmth of February and March here in Phoenix? I don't think so.
And since it is really the biggest of the big events, what we're seeing is now a lot of additional events want to come to Arizona because of the success we've had with the Super Bowl.
Seahawks and Patriot fans flocked to Phoenix for Super Bowl 49. The Patriots' win over the Seahawks began a span of 3 major championship sporting events coming to Phoenix over 3 straight years. Starting with this year's Super Bowl, followed by the College Football Championship game in 2016, and the Final Four's first trip west since 1995. Phoenix has positioned itself as a sports tourism destination.
This is the first time any destination in a long time has been back to back to back.
The last time a city hosted all 3 events back to back was in New Orleans starting in 2002. Phoenix has a few things that made the bids for all these games possible.
Phoenix is a major media market. It's obviously a very vibrant community.
Phoenix is a unique city in that it is capable of hosting a wide variety of sporting events, sporting entertainment events.
It comes to the West Coast because we have University of Phoenix Stadium. We're really the go-to spot on the West Coast. There are a lot of great cities to have events on the West Coast, but Phoenix can do them all because we have a dome stadium.
So that's where we're going to stay for the time being because of the popularity of the event. And now with only 10 or 11 different places in the country that can host the Final Four with the minimum bid specifications that we have, this is one of the prime ones to be considered for sure.
The warm winter weather is another big reason that these events chose Arizona. The Chief Operating Officer of the College Football Playoff Committee, Mike Kelly, said that Phoenix is the perfect place to host the game.
The Valley of the Sun just put forth a perfect bid. They've got a great stadium, they've got great resorts and amenities, and obviously the weather that time of year is just about perfect. So those things went into it, and then obviously just some solid big event experience that this region has all went into to what ultimately led to us awarding the game.
But it's not just football and basketball that bring their major events to the Valley. In 2011, Major League Baseball brought the All-Star Game here to Chase Field. It was the first time downtown Phoenix had hosted the All-Star Game.
These are all different audiences, distinct sports fans who are coming to Phoenix for these events. It's not all the same people.
At any particular point in time, these folks come down, enjoy themselves, and then hopefully become return visitors in the future, again, all fueling our tourism industry.
For the city of Phoenix, it's great because it brings in all this economic impact from around the country, all the businesses that are associated with NASCAR that do hospitality and entertain guests out here, all the teams from NASCAR that come into town, all the fans that come in and spend money with hotels, restaurants, things like that. So really it's a benefit to the entire community.
And the monetary impact of these events is huge. The Fiesta Bowl itself has a large impact annually.
Yeah, the Fiesta Bowl, in its entirety, we brought over $1 billion worth of economic impact to the valley here. So we're talking, certainly a major impact, and millions on an annual basis.
While final numbers aren't known yet, the Super Bowl host committee expected the game to bring in over $500 million. And that's just the days when the visitors were in the valley. Arizona Sports Tourism Association President Tom Sadler says that the impact can be felt for days and weeks after.
The value associated with the exposure that the state of Arizona gets during these events, I'm sure can be calculated in a meaningful way, and probably has been, but I think it'd be very difficult to put a specific number to it because of the number of impressions it makes throughout the country, throughout the world, and then what drives folks here because of those impressions.
With over 100,000 people estimated to have visited Super Bowl Central in downtown Phoenix, the impression could mean more large events for the Valley. And with the 3-year run of hosting the Super Bowl, College Football Championship game, and the NCAA Final Four, Phoenix has positioned itself as a sports mecca.
Look, once you get that reputation, you got it.
Between the Waste Management Phoenix Open, the Pro Bowl, and of course the Super Bowl, it is safe to say that the days between the conference championships in the NFL and the Super Bowl were two of the craziest weeks in Phoenix history. Let's take a look back at the excitement. Super Bowl!
12th dog. I'm probably more excited than anyone else. I'm very excited.
How are you enjoying Arizona?
Especially me, Get out of here, Pat.
Hopefully next year I won't be in it due to the Super Bowl.
We're dressing in their locker room. All right, we can write it down today.
Third game. Peace, love, and happiness.
I'm excited, man. I can't wait to stomp these able bodies.
So it's really an honor, and I'm going to have fun tonight and just enjoy being a part of this.
Super Bowl Media Day 49.
We're grilling them. We're getting Sherman. I'm going to sit down one-on-one with Marshawn Lynch later.
I don't really answer preschool questions.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I've been a Seahawks fan since 1976.
And we don't deflate our balls.
My attention is totally turned now and focused on Seattle Seahawks. I'm preparing our football team for the Seattle Seahawks. But this week, it's all about Seattle.
Nothing in my performance will be deflated.
I'm sorry.
I get easily bored.
Waste management tour yesterday, which was crazy.
Smelling and hearing the beer hit behind me.
Waste management tour is by far the craziest thing.
Turn around and see all this beer flying.
I love playing this event. I love the way the community supports this tournament.
Good luck, Tiger.
Kari, you get the first 2015 Arnold Award.
What is that noise?
Almost party on the red carpet. But you don't know what he's thinking. So you just, hey man, I'm gonna give Tom his space.
You know, when you're on a special teams play and Tom Brady's in the end zone, you're like, what the heck?
You know, I do find Tom Brady very attractive.
Any questions?
Can I say yes?
Can we start that again? This is now awkward.
Seeing Tom Brady, it feels good to know I do have a better beard than him.
Ooh.
Tom Brady, it's all he's about.
Thank you, guys.
This is one of those things that I'll try to find on the internet. I'll send it to my mom, I'll send it to my dad, and let them know that I made it.
After the break, a community rallies around one of the stars of the Basha Bears boys basketball team. And later, ASU begins a new era at its old stomping grounds. Welcome back to Cronkite Sports on Fox Sports Arizona. Tragedy struck highly touted Basha High School junior Devin Kirby in December after jumping for a shot. Reporter Bafaloukos tells us how his community has rallied around him after the devastating injury.
Whenever we just need like a quick basket, coach always draws up this alley-oop play we always do for like a quick bucket. So there's 12 seconds left, so we needed a quick score. And I reversed the ball, and I came off the screen, and I beat the guy on the screen.
I was on the bench at the time, actually, so, I mean, we've run this play 100 times before, I mean, and he catches it almost every time.
And I couldn't go off 1 foot like I usually do because the lob became a little late. So I had to gather off of 2, and as I was gathering, I felt like a bump in my back as I was going up to gather, to jump.
I'd actually just finished setting a screen for him to come off for the lob, and I just saw him. I didn't really see if he got pushed or if his legs just kind of caved in, but I just saw him just kind of fall, and he started screaming in pain, and I knew it just wasn't good from there.
Once I saw him go down, my first reaction was he okay? And then the refs called the paramedics over, and then I knew it was bad.
And then as I tried to jump, I just landed I just got bumped forward, and I just landed on both knees, and I felt my legs go limp instantly.
Well, the longer he was down there, the more worried I became. And when I saw Doug Smith, who used to play in the NBA, who's our assistant coach, when I saw him kind of lean his head against the backstop and tears start running out of his eyes, and I knew at that point it was bad, and so I rushed down there as quick as I could.
Kirby was taken from the game by ambulance to Banner Desert Hospital, where it was discovered he dislocated both kneecaps and broke both of his tibias. On New Year's Eve day, Kirby underwent a 4.5-hour surgery where doctors placed 3 screws in each of his legs. He spent 8 days in the hospital, and since coming home, he has been confined to a special wheelchair since January.
The whole week I was in the hospital, I was just angry. I was just angry at the world and everything, and I couldn't believe it. Like, you know, it was midway through the season, junior year. It was rough.
I was shocked. I was hurt. I think every emotion a parent could feel went through me.
The medical expenses started to mount for Michelle, a single mother whose own mother is battling cancer. The total reached over $50,000, with 10% of that coming out of pocket from Michelle. That is when the Basha community stepped up. Within days of the injury, a GoFundMe page was started for Devin, which has raised close to $5,000 as of February 11th. The Basha Football Booster Club gave $1,000 to the family. Basha administration responded with 2 separate crisis funds to help the Kirbys build a ramp in their house for Devin.
We have a great group of kids. I mean, we really do. They all work hard together. They all care for one another. Our school's really rallied around that by the different fundraisers they've been able to do and the money they've been able to raise. It's just been really good to see that from our school.
The school also created and sold 31 strong t-shirts, which raised $750. 31 is Kirby's number.
To see other kids supporting DK just makes it chokes me up. It really does. And just to see all the love that they've shown him. You know, most days here are pretty sullen and quiet, and not that he's depressed, but he's definitely not in his element. But when he knows he's going to a Basha game and he's going to see his teammates and his peers, he is in a great mood all day long.
Devin is ready to meet the challenge that physical therapy presents and the long process back to the hardwood. Kirby has one goal: to take the court with his teammates in November for the start of his senior season.
I know that I do have a bright future ahead of me. So even though it's like a temporary pain, it's going to be a long reward in the end.
Welcome back to Cronkite Sports on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona State baseball played 40 seasons at Packard Stadium, but this year, the Sun Devils will write some new history. Reporter Ben Margiott shows us more about the team's move to Phoenix Municipal Stadium.
1-2 pitch. Woody gets a hold of one high in the air, deep to left. This could do it. Colby Woodmansey, the walk-off bomb. Arizona State opens the Tracy Smith era with a W.
The best Hollywood screenwriters couldn't have scripted a more perfect beginning to the new age of ASU baseball. 4,200 rowdy fans witnessed the unbelievable finish that ushered in the Phoenix Muni and the Tracy Smith era the right way. There was only one word to describe it:
Electric. I think it was electric.
But this isn't the first time ASU baseball has been awestruck by the grandeur of the former MLB spring training facility. Sun Devils, who called Muni home for select games from 1964 to 1974, remembered it in the exact same way.
It was pretty electric. We had played with some nice crowds, you know, throughout the year, but never anything as big as this.
I mean, the atmosphere was electric because you had people cheering, you had food being sold. I mean, it was like a regular major league situation.
It's no coincidence that baseball players who played in the maroon and gold nearly 40 years apart describe the aura of Phoenix Muni the same way. And after just a few series there, former players, fans, and members of the media who were once reluctant to make the move are starting to get an idea of why ASU baseball belongs at Phoenix Muni.
I heard a couple of those comments on Alumni Day from a couple of the old timers, but then at the end of the day, when they got a chance to see us play out here and how much they enjoyed being around the facility, they're like, you know what? This is a good thing.
Although these apprehensive alumni might be nervous to leave the tradition behind, the history at Phoenix Muni is long, and it even rivals that of Packard Stadium. In fact, ASU won more national championships in the 10 years it played games at Phoenix Muni than in 40 years at Packard. Now, the Sun Devils didn't play every game at Phoenix Muni back then, so the memories they do have of that park stick out even more.
Hitting 2 inside the park home runs against Colorado State in the regional playoffs. I said it was a big stadium, and I hit a couple line drives to right center and was able to make inside the park home runs.
The games we remember the most is when we were U of A was number 2 in our division. We were number 1. That was in '69. We shut them out twice one day, 11-0 and 5-0. I pitched the night game. There were 8,000 people almost.
This year, the Sun Devils will honor that history just like they did at Packard Stadium by winning baseball games.
I think there's new history to be written, and we'll see what happens this year.
Thanks, Ben. For all the fans that were upset about losing all the history at Packard Stadium, was this the right move for ASU baseball?
It was the right move, and I think those fans are going to realize that. We talked to Brett Lillick at Media Day, and he told us, I don't want to bash on Packard Stadium, but, and that's kind of the sentiment that we got from a lot of ASU baseball players. They don't want to leave behind that tradition and that history that they had at Packard, but it was time. You know, you had kind of the crumbling concrete, you had the aluminum bleachers that just made it so hot there at Packard Stadium, whereas at Phoenix Municipal, they kind of have the stadium that an elite college baseball team would have.
Thanks, Ben. Well, that's all for now. For all of us here at Cronkite Sports on Fox Sports Arizona, I'm Jared Cooper. Thanks for joining us.